So what we had here was in Florida, we had money looking for a place to park. A lot of this was international money. So we were highly liquid and we were looking for the United States as a place that we can get a safe return. And because housing prices were going up and people were jumping in, oh wow, I can, when you hear the box boy or box girl at the grocery store say, hey, I had a friend that bought a condominium and was able to flip it in 3 months. And I looked on Amazon.com for the sales of my business geography book. And they say, people that bought your book also bought How to Flip a Condo. And I thought, oh my goodness, oh no. that was all the analysis I needed to know that we are in trouble. This is in the current issue of Florida Trend magazine, is that they were not doing appropriate due diligence at the financing level for the banks, and what we call absorption analysis. How many houses can you expect to sell at that price range within a period of time, which is usually 3 years to build out? And they weren't doing that. There was just money chasing being put down. And then the planning departments were allowing this stuff to be built without following the state growth management regulations. And so we had then a great oversupply, and now we're suffering from that. I'll just put in a little caveat, since I do work with a large developer here in town, and I won't repeat what her name is. And we just went through the plan board, and what they said is you must build 175 housing units in your new development. I said, how are we going to look at all this? We've got hundreds, thousands of unoccupied units. And so who are we going to get to finance this? Who are we going to get to build it? You know, who wants to step forward? Nobody. And then they say, and also then you have to build on all your buildings a second floor and with offices on it. We said, we can't rent them. If we can rent it, if my projections show that we can rent the office space on a second floor, if my projections show, which they don't, that we can rent or sell 175 housing units, I'm sure the developer lady I work for would love to do it. But we have there's a totally flip-flop, is that in order to do this, to get zoning approval, our recommendation is you must overbuild the market. That's just a little political caveat here. Think about the implications of that.
It's not a recommendation, it's the demand on their part for you to comply.
That's what they're saying.
Either that or you don't do it.
They're saying you must overbuild the market.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, that makes it financially infeasible.
It will, because
basically that may be
it's going to cost $20 million to build 175 units.
No. One way of saying no is to do exactly what they did, is to make it infeasible to finance it.
Right.
And in fact, because we've got, at the corner of 13th and University, an infeasibility issue that the planners did not catch and did not require sufficient density perhaps to make it infeasible. So I would argue just the opposite, that the infeasibility that seems to be ludicrous is in fact the way of saying no.
Well, this developer lady that I know, the property was in a trailer park, and if those restrictions are in, I have confidence that she will, and she's entitled to, revert the property to a trailer park.
That may not be so. It's cheap housing.
And, so these are some of the, so let's remember what the topic was, what I was asked to talk about. That's what we're ending on. I was asked to talk about public policy analysis. And that's the topic that we ended on. Do you want a trailer park, or do you want a hybrid, high-order retail center that generates jobs and tax revenues? So that's public policy analysis. And my job was to show you how geography was involved in this.
Can the retail center survive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would not recommend to a certain kind of retail center will survive. At that location, a hybrid center will survive, where we have destination retail And then we have a, kind of a lifestyle town, Main Street there with smaller shops. And the smaller shops are piggybacking on top of the trade area generated by the destination retail. So that does work, and that will work here. But the choices to the politicians now. The city planning board made their recommendation to the city, and the city commissioners can accept those recommendations or not. That's public policy.